So are we safe in America? The answer is no, we're not, because nobody really on the planet is safe. And right now, our security is going down. It's going down in two ways. The open border, we all know that. Inexplicably, the President of the United States has opened the border, doesn't seem to care about the massive amount of people and narcotics coming over it. And then locally in cities like New York, Chicago, LA, San Francisco, St. Louis, on and on and on, we've got a violent core in the poor neighborhoods. I think that's fair to say. I mean, it's out of control. And so we're not really safe. Individuals who have money are in a better position, but working class and poor Americans are not. So yesterday, the hearing was held by the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee. The two main guests were Alejandro, I'm sorry, I booted that Spanish name. Alejandro, I'm rolling the R, Mayorkas, and FBI Director Cristopher Wray. So Ron Johnson, senator from Wisconsin, who appears on the No Spin News periodically, he believes that Wray, the head of the FBI, has allowed corruption into the agency. And therefore, that corruption has lessened the effectiveness of the FBI. Roll tape one.
The American people want to believe and have trust in the FBI. We want credibility and integrity restored to your institution. But Director Wray, you have not done that since assuming office. And I could go through a long laundry list of the reasons why that trust has been violated.
So needless to say, I disagree with your characterization, not only of my own performance, but of our workforce. I will tell you, when it comes to trust and confidence, the number of people applying to be special agents of the FBI has gone up dramatically since I've been FBI director.
But that doesn't really matter. We're not talking about recruits. We're not talking about agents in the field. We're talking about the FBI not doing one thing that I can find. And if I'm wrong, I will tell you. Not one thing to investigate high-level charges of corruption against President Biden. Nothing. Now, Wray works for the Attorney General, okay, who certainly is the weakest Attorney General, I think, in the history of this country. I mean, I have never, and I'm a historian, I'm going back, and I'm looking at, is there anybody weaker than Merrick Garland? Maybe Trump's first AG, the Senator Sessions from Alabama, he was pretty weak, I have to say. And that he was given that job because he was an early supporter of Trump's presidency. He never should have been there. But Merrick Garland is embarrassing. Oh, I'm not paying attention. I'm not really looking. I don't really know. Come on. Now, Wray is smarter than Garland, but Wray is following orders as well. And the orders are leave the Bidens alone. And we have demonstrated that beyond any reasonable doubt. If anybody disagrees with that, is simply irrational. Okay. The second soundbite is the open border, obviously, and the stats bear it out, is allowing nefarious individuals, both criminals and terrorists, to come in here in a much easier way from abroad. Again, there's no two sides to that. That's the truth. Roll tape 2.
Director Wray, you said in your testimony the threats, they're not getting any easier to deal with. Would having a secure border, would that make your job easier?
Well, I will let Secretary Mayorkas speak for border security, but I will tell you that the threats that we have to contend with that are attributed to the border, cartel violence, distribution of fentanyl, et cetera, are a major
The answer is yes. Your job would be a whole lot easier if you weren't having to deal with over 70,000 special interest aliens coming from countries that are of concern to us.
So the reason Wray won't do that is because he doesn't want to embarrass the Biden administration, which is propping up Mayorkas. So this is what the swamp is all about. You don't tell the truth to the American people. You don't represent the American people's interests. You represent the interests of the person who could fire you. So Ray can get fired tomorrow by Biden, President Biden. All right, so he's not going to say anything or do anything that's going to go against Biden. This is not what the country needs. We need a robust federal law enforcement agency. We don't have it. Now, again, it's not the agents themselves. They always do that. We're not disparaging FBI agents. All right, it's tough to get into the FBI. And you got to be bright, and you got to have a background check. You got to be honest, and we applaud those agents. The leadership is horrible. Christopher Wray is awful. Awful. And Merrick Garland, again, if you know of a worse attorney general in the history of this country, please send me his name. Bill@BillO'Reilly.com. Bill@BillO'Reilly.com. All right? I mean, I study this stuff. All right, the final soundbite is an outrageous thing that happened in the Homeland Security Agency. So, as I said, Alejandro Mayorkas is the boss. One of his employees, all right, put out a internet tweet or post or something supporting Hamas after they killed the Israeli civilians. I'm going to tell you all about that in a minute, but I need to set it up for the soundbite. Okay? So here you have somebody who's working inside the Homeland Security Department who's applauding Hamas. Roll the tape.
This is Nuja Ali, an employee of the Department of Homeland Security, who posted these comments on October the 7th. That's not all she posted. She also posted this graphic. Now, this is a fake graphic, I want to be clear, but I think we understand it. This is a paraglider, a Hamas paraglider, depicted here with a machine gun flying into Israel. She posted it under her online alias with the celebratory Free Palestine. Mr. Secretary, what's going on here?
That individual has been placed on administrative leave.
So she's not been fired?
Number two.
Why has she not been fired?
Number two, the individual was hired in 2019.
Why has she not been fired?
Number three, I cannot speak to an ongoing personnel matter.
Oh, that's just a bunch of crap. He can't speak to an ongoing personnel matter. He's the head of the department. Now, what if this woman, her name is Nuja Ali. She works in the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service. What if she had put out a post that said, I really like the Proud Boys. I think the Proud Boys are really good. You think she would not have been fired? Now, this is insane. I mean, this crosses every line. Anybody who would do that, a government official that would applaud Hamas's murder, they're gone. There's no, I can't comment on personal matters. They're gone. Not suspended. They're okay. They get their walking papers. In any decent administration, that's what would happen. But Mayorkas is so cowardly, so weak, so incompetent that he doesn't understand that. See, these people all think they're doing a good job. This is the horror of it all. Ray and Garland and Mayorkas and Biden and Kamala, they all think they're doing a great job. They live in a world of delusion and, in some cases, destruction. And this is what we have. And that's the memo.